A class war is brewing during a pandemic, and no, I'm not talking about our current socio-political climate. I'm talking about the new film Coup, starring Peter Sarsgaard and Billy Magnussen from Greenwich Entertainment. Magnussen plays journalist Jay Horton, who is holed up in a palatial country estate during the 1918 flu epidemic, writing op-eds and articles decrying the horrors perpetuated against the working class. That's when Sarsgaard's Floyd Monk shows up, a grifter pretending to be the family's cook, who gets the rest of the help riled up in a revolt against their benevolent employer. Monk is unkempt and tactless. He has no problem displaying his grotesque war injuries during mealtimes, and he doesn't shield others from his honest opinions. And he doesn't shy away from subtly pointing out Horton's hypocrisy, that he's hiding from the very society he's exploiting while claiming he's saving them with his words alone. Magnussen plays the role of the rich, self-aggrandizing neo-lib to great success. I found shades of Bradley Whitford's character in Get Out in his performance, and wouldn't have batted an eye if he'd said, I would have voted for Obama a third time, despite the anachronism. Meanwhile, Monk is orchestrating the titular coup right under his nose, and to some degree under his fellow colleagues' noses as well. In a way, they're being used on both sides, both as the maids and nannies working for the family, and as the unwitting reinforcements for Monk's dastardly plan. Monk and the other staff eventually worm their way in deeper into the Horton family's way of life, pushing their employer to the edge of madness. All of which highlights the truth about their arrangement. Monk and the others were never meant to be seen or heard, which is why their revolt against the family goes unnoticed for so long. In fact, the only person who really sees them is Jay's wife, Julie, played deftly by Sarsgaard. She shines as the doting spouse harboring a deep secret, that she desires a greater existence beyond raising kids and looking pretty. She plays cards with the staff, she dreams of writing fiction, and she longs for the life she had before she was married. Coup arrives at a time when our current labor force is unionizing, quiet quitting, and forming its own rebellion against its corporate overlords. Companies that plaster progressive flags and slogans on cheap plastic trinkets and ballistic missiles in solidarity with the marginalized voices they exploit and attack every day, all of which is occurring during an ongoing pandemic. And although it might seem like Coup's story was conjured to appeal to a disenfranchised and progressive audience of today, there is some historical evidence to the anger of the working class of 1918, at least according to one historian. Jack Powell, author of The Great Class War, 1914 to 1918, believed the wealthy and elite saw World War I as a blessing in disguise. To them it was a distraction for the workers who had been attracted to socialism's call to overthrow their oppressors. Thanks to the war, workers would take up arms, not against the rich, but against a mutual foreign enemy. Meanwhile, the conflict would provide wealthy colonizers a way to conquer even more lands and pad their coffers. Coup is not a wholly serious film, as evidenced by the exclamation point in its title. Sarsgaard's tongue is placed firmly within his cheek with every snide muttering, every sabotage, and every side-eye against his employer. But the film does a great job of highlighting the very real disparity between those who have and those who have not, especially when those who have pretend to be fighting for those who don't from the comfort of their roaring fireplaces and warm beds. Coup is a solid social commentary and an enjoyable, funny film, with an understated yet rich performance from Peter Sarsgaard. And Billy Magnussen's descent into madness is a sight to behold. The audience winds up shifting allegiances throughout, not quite sure who the real villain is until the very end. My thanks to Pixel Scene Media for early access to the film. Coup stars Peter Sarsgaard, Billy Magnussen, and Sarsgaard, and comes out in wide release in the US on August 2nd. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in the lobby.